It's coming up to lunchtime. The final segment on today's show is paying for a taxi the right way and how to be a responsible, wheelchair-accessible taxi passenger. When you are traveling with wheelchair-accessible taxis, you must always be on time for the drivers because they have jobs to do, or other jobs, I should say, and always have the correct change with you because some drivers may not carry change on them. So if you've got a $50 note, tell the driver that you need more than $10 change. And always use your dockets correctly when traveling in a wheelchair accessible taxi, and always ask the driver to turn the meter on at the start of the trip and tell him to stop the meter at the end of the trip and ask him how much the fare is in total and get your money out and ready for the driver at the end of the trip, and that includes your dockets. You must always pay for the fare. Taxi rides are not free. If you do not pay the fare, that is fare invasion, and drivers have the right to call the police if they need to. You must every wheelchair accessible taxi passenger should pay for the fare and only use one docket per trip, and never allow anyone else to use your dockets. The dockets are under your name only, and fraudulent misuse of dockets may result in your removal from the scheme and prosecution, and you will have to pay whatever is on the meter without the docket. So you must never give your dockets to any other passenger. These taxi subsidy scheme dockets are under your name and your name only. I'm going to give you an example now of how to use a docket. This is a taxi subsidy scheme docket. The dockets must be filled out correctly, such as the date, the month, and the year, and the to and from section. And over here on the right is where the driver writes how much was on the meter, and the extras, and the total paid by the passenger. I'm going to get my upsider to read you the terms and conditions on the front, on the left-hand side of this document book.
Travel dockets must be fully and accurately completed, or payment of the subsidy amount will be refused. Never sign a blank docket. 2. If the nature of your disability prevents you from completing your docket travel, it may be completed by the taxi driver in your presence only. 3. You are responsible for the safekeeping and correct use of this book, and you should not give your book to a taxi driver at any time. You should give a single docket from your book to the taxi driver at the end of your trip. 4. Acceptance of this book signifies your agreement to the terms and conditions of the scheme. Failure to comply with the terms and conditions will result in your removal from the scheme and possible legal action. 5. This book of travel dockets remains the property of the Transport for New South Wales and must be produced on demand from an authorised officer.
So what she's saying on the screen there is a blank docket. So the start time and where you're traveling to and from and like how, and I'm just gonna get my opsider to read you this section on the right hand side of the docket.
So there is the meter to fill in, the extras, the total fare, amount paid by the passenger,
Which is me.
which is Barry, and the subsidy amount right at the bottom.
So you must never ever sign a blank docket. You must always fill them in correctly, guys. And never allow anyone else to use them. I'm going to now get my opsider to read the conditions on the back of the docket.
Okay. So, things to remember. You must not sell, exchange, lend, or give away your travel dockets. You're responsible for the safekeeping of your book of travel dockets, and you must not leave your blank travel dockets with a taxi driver. Your travel dockets must not be used for trips for any purpose when you are not in a taxi, or by your family or friends or any other person. You must not collude with a taxi driver or any other person to provide false trip details in order to increase the subsidy payable or to avoid or reduce payment of your proportion of the fare. You must not use more than one travel docket for a single continuous journey to avoid paying or to reduce the fare. You must not use your travel dockets to pay a taxi driver a tip or gratuity.
What does it mean?
Gratuity? I'm not sure. I think that's another word for gift.
And you must always pay with cash, not with two travel dockets. It is illegal and it is wrong. So we hope that you've enjoyed our program today. I'm just gonna get my opsider to show you one more time what a docket is.
Put it up to the camera.
And there it is there.
Is it back to front? Might be back to front, I'm not sure.
And the last thing, if you are traveling in the state, you must never use New South Wales dockets. You must order interstate dockets by ringing the taxi subsidy scheme during office hours. And that's how a docket book should be used. And in your book is a green slip so that you can order a set of new travel dockets. And it says here, please remove this address page before using your dockets. So there's my taxi book. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us here today, and we'll see you next time around. I'm Barry Fair. The time is now nearly lunchtime and 12 o'clock, and it's time to get ready for lunch. So from myself, Barry Fair, we thank you for joining us here today. And safe traveling in a wheelchair accessible taxi. Good morning, everyone.